Okay. And the interviews keep on coming. Now, I'm very glad to introduce my next guest on my show. I'm glad to have here with me an American artist, Hunter Stiles, joining me. Welcome, Hunter. How are you doing today?
Very honored to be on your show today.
Great. It's nice that to have you on my board, my show, and great to hear that you're good today. And where are you currently in the States at the moment?
I'm in Washington State, so just a little small town called Yakima.
Great. And for the benefit of my listeners, and how long have you been like making music for, or just how long have you just had a passion for music on the whole?
I'm 21 years old right now, and I've been playing since I was 9, so probably almost about 12 years now. I've been playing guitar and singing and playing piano, and I started my music career about playing uh, playing for writing song stuff for about 5 years now.
That's good going. Right. And going straight into it now, one of the singles that I'm aware you're promoting currently is called All These Highs. Um, how's it going with the promotion of this record and being received by the general public?
Pretty good so far, this is my first run of songs, and I almost want to get people uh, adjusted or warmed up to what I was kind of aiming for. I'm a big traditional and old school country music fan, and I'm also a little bit of a rock and roll fan. So I think these set of songs, I think, they're kind of a wide variety. You know what I mean? I I got songs in there that "Knocking on Heaven's Door," which is a Bob Dylan cover, and I got a Johnny Cash cover on there, and I got some slower ones, and I just think it really showed everyone kind of what kind of artist I am.
That's very nice. And with all these highs, with the highs do come the lows. Like that card game hit we got here in Britain, higher or lower, play your cards right. Um, have you had to experience? Have you had to have go through them experiences? The lows to get the highs as well.
Oh yeah, that song is kind of like when you've been playing a show all weekend, uh, and you're having fun. Because usually I head out Thursday and start playing shows throughout the weekend. And by the time you got to come back, because I still got a day job, I'm a welder by day, and you're coming off that high of playing all weekend because your heart's racing, you're excited, and you get to meet all kinds of great people, and so it's kind of a weird feeling when you got to come back to reality for a little
Yeah.
bit once you've been having such a good time with people all weekend.
Would you say the word is buzzing then? You're buzzing after the weekend's activities.
For sure, for
Wow.
sure.
I know you're still young, but have you had to make any big sacrifices to get to where you are now?
Oh yeah. Um, uh, I think the biggest deal is just time consuming.
Hmm.
Usually I I spend hours writing, hours playing. It's just like anything else. You got to perfect your craft or whatever you like doing, and definitely gets frustrating sometimes when you're trying to come up with that next line or word or trying to get some riff on guitar down.
Hmm.
And it's just one of those things where you just got to keep doing it and doing it.
Yeah.
And but other than that, I don't think I've really sacrificed anything. Just a lot of time, but everyone is running on time, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm just like everyone else.
That's good to hear. Chip away, like the weld stone.
Yep.
Right, and with with music as well, it's not just about singing on stage and performing in front of people. You've got the recording process and even the artwork as well. I know the single cover to All These Highs is a black and white cover. Is interesting in itself, with yourself holding a guitar in a smoky saloon bar in the background. Where did the inspiration for that come about? The artwork for this single?
I did a my first ever which photography or I had a photography deal done, and I I just took a bunch of photos of basically everything that I I think about it if my life was a movie, and so I went out and took a bunch of pictures, and I'm big in the rodeo world and cowboy way of life stuff, and so and we went to a local bar and they let us set up a couple of stuff to make the picture look really cool and stuff. And I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Pure Country of George Strait's in.
I haven't seen it just yet, but I can put that on my movies to watch list.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny movie, but George Strait uh played in that movie, and he talks about, you know, the whole thing in the movie is he's tired of all the lights and the smoke and the fireworks and everything, and he wants to get down to his roots of why he started playing music. And so I thought that was kind of like a perfect imagery of, what I'm after. I don't need all the smoke and lights and everything. I just want to be known as an artist that plays good
Yeah,
music. And I just like Johnny Cash, I want things to be simple. I just want to play my music, and you know,
yeah,
and that's what I want to be known for.
that's understandable. I know you can release music videos. Is there a music video for all these highs? Is that going to be released soon, where people can watch?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of in the middle of it right now, because I think that song's worth doing a video for, just because it has a good, fun storyline, kind of. So I think it'd be a fun one to put a music video to.
That's great. And so all these highs, that's available just to listen to, like on all good streaming platforms.
hmm And I am working on CDs here pretty soon. I haven't got everything quite up and run yet, but like I said, I'm still trying to learn this whole process,
Yeah,
but I'm
sure.
trying to get it as much as I can out to everyone.
Hmm. I just want to touch on just a couple of other songs that you released. You released a song as well called Wantin' Man. That's doing well on, like say, Spotify and Apple Tunes charts. Can you just tell me a little bit more about the backstory behind Wanted Man?
Yeah, so Wanted Man, like I was saying earlier, I like history, and I'm a big fan of the cowboy way of life, and kind of the Wild West that we had over here, like in the 1890s era to early 1900s, when gunslingers and stuff were roaming around. And I was watching a show about Billy the Kid, who's a American outlaw back in the day, and I was watching a TV series about him, and it's always been a big mystery because no one knows really what happened to him. And so I I don't know why, but I was so fascinated with it, and it's like one of the only times where a complete song came to me in my mind, and I wrote it all down like in 20 minutes. And it happens every once in a while like that, but not very often. But it
Hmm.
just all came to me at one time.
I suppose when that happens, it's a golden moment, isn't it?
Yep. And I wrote that song. I say after watching that, but I mostly wrote it too about as if I were during that time. If I was an outlaw or something like that.
Hmm.
In my own shoes, I guess.
Hmm. Would you ever, I know it's not possible, but like time travel, if you had an opportunity to go back to that time era, would you jump at the chance just to see how it's like?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it'd probably be pretty risky times, but
Yeah.
I think it'd be worth it, just to see how it was back then.
Yeah. As long as you can get back to today.
Yeah, yep,
Cool. Another track you released was called 52 Cadillac. Would you say this is a fan's favorite?
yep, for sure. And I think it's because it's upbeat. It's kind of a fun song, and it's kind of a story song. So you get all three of the good stuff in it.
Cool. And you've released quite a few number of singles at the moment.
hmm
Will this lead to an upcoming album? You mentioned that you're looking at CD pressing in the future.
Yes, sir. The album's gonna be called Dark Side of the Mountain, and it's gonna have these songs on it. And I'm still playing, or I got some recording set right now, so there's all kinds of good stuff in the works. So I got plenty more coming out for everyone.
That's fine. We'll be patient to await that album in good time. And where you're based as well, is it Washington State? Is that on, say, the west coast of
Yep,
US? Mm.
yep.
How do you find the live music scene over there? Do you have like many open mic nights, where for original artists?
There's a few, probably not as many as other areas, but my parents, when I was growing up, owned a bar, and I got to a few chances to watch the live bands in there, and I don't know why, but I always enjoyed seeing. the crowd react and people move and stuff. And my grandparents growing up were big country music fans and always had that kind of stuff playing in the house or were singing. And so I think those are two of the biggest things that
mm,
really got me
mm.
brought into that world of music.
Yeah. And when you do shows on the weekend, do you travel far, like, commute, outside the state as well?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
I'd say probably 80% of the shows I've done this year have been out of state. I've traveled a lot of miles this year. It probably
Wow.
amazed people how much I've traveled just, going from weekend to weekend.
Mm. Do you enjoy it, like the traveling, that side of things?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I like seeing new places and like I said earlier, meeting good people.
Mm.
Um, Kind of that gypsy soul kind of thing,
Mm.
when there's something about a certain group of people, you just got to be moving all the time, you know what I mean?
Mm. Cool. And you mentioned, like Johnny Cash, has been an inspiration for you, George Strait as well. Are there any other bands or singers who have influenced you over the years or even like the last decade or so?
Oh yeah. I listen to a few new artists, not too many, but I I always tell people all the time I can't narrow it down to one or two, but it's got to be like Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings, Hank Jr., Hank Sr., Keith Whitley. Uh, those are just a few off the top of my head,
Mm.
but
Mm.
a lot of old school traditional stuff. Just I don't know why, but I just like that older sound, and I
Mm.
think, like I was saying earlier, it's just simpler. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's like they always say, three chords and the truth, and I just like that kind of style.
Mm. Would it be fair to say authenticity? There was more of that back then.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. And do you have a website or a link to social medias where people can like see where you're playing at if they're your side of the world?
Yeah, it's just sixstringoutlaw.com. That's kind of my nickname or my stage name, I guess. And
Mm.
just go to sixstringoutlaw.com and I got everything on there that you could find out about me. And I'm trying to get my merch up and going right now, so uh, all kinds of good stuff.
Great. Well, I think that was my complete set of questions I wanted to ask you today, Hunter. But I just want to say thank you for coming on, and I've got time to just like spin your track. We were talking about all these highs. Would you like to just introduce it on my show?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd be honored.
Great. Well, thanks very much for joining me on today's show. We have Hunter Stiles from Washington State, and here is his new single, All These Highs. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.